So let's place a waypoint inside the scene again. And this time around, we're just going to set up a basic system that we're going to use to kind of describe the different features of it along the way. First one, again with our nodes, our waypoint node right here, I'm just going to place one inside the scene. We'll place a second one and a third one. If we have our scene set up to be using the Bezier corners, the handles, then we can actually adjust the curve of it. Let's go ahead and assign the follower to the block right here. All right, let's go ahead and go out of the properties on that one. We're going to go into the properties here for the block. And at the very end of our list here, we have a handful of options for our waypoints. We have our settings and we have our following options. If you click on the first set for this one, this is going to be just about, I think all tiles have the two options for it. You can say how far along the path do you want to start. So for instance, if we said 100%, what we're saying is we want this object to start at the very end of the path right here. If we do 50%, then we are saying we want it to start midways into the path, or at 0 we want it to start at the beginning. Now that percentage is if our start mode is set for @%. We can also do a random start on the path, and we can do a nearest node. Nearest node means that wherever this block is, whichever one is nearest, it's going to start there. We also have a time on path. How long is it going to take? So here we could actually say this will take 3 seconds to get from here to the other side over there. The controller trigger we'll set up in a different video. The loop, there's going to be a handful of different options for how we go back and forth between them, and we'll look at this one in a different video as well. What I do want to focus on though is the follower options. So by default, I believe there is a use my scale tends to, I think the default is for it to be on, so that the object size is this size. You can override it. You can turn this off and say that at each point it changes a different size. Same thing for color, for angle. Now if you want, I could say use my angle. Then you could say on the options for using, use my time on path. For instance, the time on path that we have set for this one was 3 seconds. If I say use this time, it's going to do the 3 seconds to get there. That way each of your blocks, you could have one block for 3, one for 10 seconds. Each one can actually tell itself how long it's going to take. Then you have additional options for what other parts and pieces to use, and we'll go through each of these as well. We're going to focus just on the time for the moment and for the angle, the rotation for the object. So now we have this one set up for it, but because we're actually using a different setup, you notice it's not going. So let's jump back to the block itself here. And if we go to the end again, when we go to the option, do you see where it says use my start, my move at start? What we're saying is that we want to say no matter what this option is set for, this guy is going to go ahead and move. So if you get to the point where you place an object in, it doesn't move, just remember go back to that tile, and you can either choose to move it or you choose the ones that are there to be moving. So now we have no rotation, we just have the object moving straight, and then we have it going from one side to the other, and it takes 3 seconds. Alright, so this is going to be the basic setup for us when we come to using the waypoint for the next several videos, and we'll just go from there and start kind of branching out into different options and how we can use them.